There's a reason Courage the Cowardly Dog didn't feel like a normal cartoon. Even as a kid, you could tell something was off. Not just the monsters, not just the screaming, it was the silence between the scares. Most cartoons want you to feel safe, Courage didn't. It let fear sit in the room. As a kid, you watched Courage because it was weird and funny and uncomfortable in a way that felt exciting. The villains was grotesque, the animation shifted styles without warning, faces stressed, colors changed, reality bent. You laughed because laughing felt safer than thinking about it. But rewatching the show as an adult, something becomes clear. Courage wasn't about monster, it was about living with fear every day and still choosing to care. Courage lived in the middle of nowhere, no town, no neighbors, no safety net. Just a quiet farmhouse surrounded by empty land. That setting alone says everything. There's nowhere to run, no crowd to disappear into, no one's coming to help. Fear shows up and you have to deal with it. As a kid, that farmhouse just felt spooky. As an adult, it feels isolating. The kind of isolation where small problems feel huge because there's no one else around to share the weight. That's where Courage lived. Eustace wasn't just mean for comedy. He was cruel, dismissive, and emotionally absent. Mira was loving but fragile, kind but unaware of the danger around her. Courage sat between them, a small anxious character carrying the responsibility far bigger than himself. That's not a joke, that's reality for a lot of people. Every episode follows the same basic pattern. Something terrifying appears, no one else takes it seriously. Courage panics and then Courage acts. Not because he's brave, but because he has to be. That's the part that hits the harder as an adult. Courage isn't fearless, he's terrified all the time. The shaking, the screaming, the exaggerated reactions, that wasn't weakness, that was honesty. Most heroes don't feel fear. Courage felt all of it and still moved forward. That's a very different message. As a kid, it feels external. Monsters under the bed, strange noises, dark hallways. Courage visualized those fears perfectly. Grotesque villains, distorted faces, reality bending into nightmare shapes. But as an adult, you realize the fear and courage isn't just about monsters, it's about uncertainty. You never knew what kind of episode you was getting. Sometimes it was silly, sometimes it was surreal, sometimes genuinely disturbing. That unpredictability mirrors anxiety itself. You don't know when fear will show up, you just know it will. The show didn't cushion the scares, it didn't soften the imagery. It trusted the audience to sit with discomfort. That's rare, especially in kids' media. Another thing you notice rewatching Courage now, how quiet it is. There are long stretches with minimal dialogue, ambient sounds, wind, footsteps, breathing. Silence makes fear louder. The show understood that. Most cartoons fill the silence with jokes. Courage let the silence stretch, and when something finally happened, it hit harder. Even the villains weren't always evil in a simple way. Some was tragic, some were misunderstood, some were just strange. Fear didn't always come from violence. Sometimes it comes from the unknown, from not understanding what you're dealing with. That's another adult realization. Fear is always rational, and Courage never pretended it was. What makes the show age so well is that it never mocked fear. It didn't say, "This is silly, get over it." It said, "You're scared? Now what?" That's a powerful difference. Courage never wins by overpowering anyone. He wins by enduring, by thinking, by caring, by refusing to abandon Miro no matter how scared he is. That kind of courage isn't flashy, it's quiet. As a kid, you watched Courage and maybe felt uneasy. As an adult, you realized the show was teaching emotional resilience. Not in a lesson of the weak way, in a live in the uncomfortable way. Fear wasn't constant, safety wasn't temporary, love was the reason to keep going. And that's heavy for a cartoon, but Courage never made it dramatic, it just showed it. Even the art style reinforces this, shifting the animation style mirror emotion and stability. Reality never feels solid, nothing stays the same for long. That's exactly what fear feels like. And yet despite all that, the show isn't hopeless. Courage survives, Muriel stays kind, and even in a hostile world, compassion exists. That balancing Courage the Cowardly Dog stays with people. It didn't promise safety, it promised honesty. And as an adult, you stop seeing Courage as just a scared dog. You see him as someone navigating a world that doesn't care about how anxious he is. Someone doing what needs to be done anyway. That's not childish, that's human. That's why rewatching Courage feels heavier now. Not because it's scarier, but because you finally understand what it's saying. Fear doesn't disappear when you grow up. It just changes shape, and Courage prepares you for that without you even spelling it out. So when people say Courage the Cowardly Dog traumatized them, what they really mean is that they made them feel something real, something unresolved, something honest. And maybe that's why it still holds up. Not because it was dark, but because it respected fear instead of dismissing it. So I'm curious, what episode stuck with you the longest? And did it scare you, or did it just make you feel uneasy in a way that you couldn't explain? Because chances are, that feeling was part of the point.